All right, so we're here with newly qualified games athlete Jaci Cale, which technically this is your second games qualification. What year did you qualify before?
With the team.
Well,
with the team?
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about as a master.
Well, it was the year after.
So 17?
2017, and I think I don't remember. I keep thinking, like, was I 40 or was I 39? I don't remember if it was the 40 to 40.
Let's do the math. How old are you now?
45.
So you're 45.
45.
So you were in the 40.
I was in the 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I declined it because I had school and testing, and I didn't want the stress.
Yeah.
I declined it.
And now all of that's done. Dude, what did that qualification process look like back then? Because obviously it's changed like a million times. Like now we have quarterfinals and semifinals. Was that where you had to be top 200 and then top 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I had to be top 20.
Okay.
I think it changed like the year after.
And then it went top 10.
Top 10.
And then a couple of years later, they ended up going to like the quarterfinals and the semifinals, which we're now at there. Yeah.
Yeah, because they never did the semifinals. They did the quarterfinals, and
then
and that was it.
And that was it. Yeah. So how did you get into CrossFit?
You?
I guess that was kind of a silly question. Yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah.
I remember I met you at one of the other gyms, and I heard you over talking about CrossFit. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And you said, oh, yeah, I just started CrossFit. And that's and that.
I think we talked about this yesterday just by chance, obviously. But I think that was like, what year did we say that was? 2010? I was at that other gym because I think I started coaching here full time in 2011. So it was probably 2010 because we did our first open was, I think, the 2011 open. Right?
Yes.
Or was it 2012?
2011, then we went to regionals 2012.
Okay, so our first open was 2011. Okay. So you overheard this like really cool 20-year-old talking about CrossFit. We won't talk about who he was or anything, but then
yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, I want to try it. And then you were like, I remember you saying, yeah, you need to go.
I remember that too, yeah.
Oh, you need to try it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was big into exercising, lifting, and I was like,
and I think that I might have even been having you do like CrossFit without it being CrossFit it was at a boxing gym, mm-hmm. And I remember we had like a barbell and like 5-pound plates and a tire, and then we were remember Marco Ventura?
Oh yeah,
and Cameron.
I don't remember a Cameron. I remember Marco though. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we were basically doing CrossFit before we were doing CrossFit. Mm-hmm. So then you came here. Do you remember what your first workout was?
For the open?
No, just in general. Like, what was your first workout in this building? Yeah.
I remember the first workout that open was the burpee. The burpee.
Yeah. The 7-minute AMRAP burpees, and then we had the power snatches afterwards. And I think you crushed the burpee workout.
I think I got like, I think maybe you got like 1 or 2 more burpees.
Yeah. But you crushed the burpee workout. Do you remember how you did on the snatch workout?
No.
We'll have to look that up.
I probably couldn't snatch 95 pounds.
Yeah. So then obviously, and we already talked about this in 2013, we went to regionals, but I also think that you qualified as an individual also.
I don't think I qualified for an individual until 15.
I think that you qualified as an individual and you declined an individual. We were joking around before we started this, saying that I was going to be asking her questions about her CrossFit career, and then I was going to have to answer my own questions. So here's the first answering my own question. You qualified in 2013 as an individual, and you declined it. And
to the team.
Yeah. Or now you remember. Now you remember doing that.
I remember like not wanting to do individually. I like going team.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Except for the 2 years that was it 2015 and 14 and 15.
Yeah.
That I went individual.
So obviously, we said in 13 was team. You went team. What'd you do in 2014? So give us an idea about your competitive CrossFit career. Start from 2013.
Well, yeah, we went through when I started, and then it was 2012, we went with a team. It was
12, we went with a team.
yeah,
Okay.
Sarah, Michael,
Yeah.
yeah. And then 2013 with the team again
Okay.
with you, and I can't remember who was there. But then where was I? 2013, and then 14 I went as an individual.
With Sarah.
No, it was 2015 was with Sarah. So 2014 I went alone.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because with Sarah, we went to Jacksonville with Sarah, and it was when Cross Boy and Beach also had a team. So in 14, Cross Boy and Beach sent a team. Sarah went and Jaci Cale went. And remember that was the year that had the front squat, strict handstand push-up, bar facing burpee workout, the run, legless rope climb workout. So you and Sarah both qualified that year. Then 15 was the year that you smoked the Open, and I think you finished like 4th or 5th in the Open in the Southeast that year.
Yeah.
And then that was in Atlanta. Remember?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that was in Atlanta, and X and I drove overnight to come be with you in Atlanta. That was in Atlanta in 15. Yeah. That picture that you and I have that I shared.
Yeah.
That's a picture from Atlanta, at the World Congress Center in Atlanta. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm like
2016.
And then 2016 I went as a team I went as a team at regionals.
Yeah.
Separate
from us. Yeah. We won't go down that road. It's fine.
I was looking at your face. I'm like, and then we ended up 5th in the regionals, and then went to the games
In 2016.
2016. 2017 is when I qualified as
A master.
and that's when I declined.
Yeah.
Then when I do 2018,
You got injured.
yeah, we went as a team, and it was my fault that after the first workout, and then I got injured as I was warming up for the second one.
In West Palm, in our backyard.
It was Tyler's first,
Yeah.
right?
No, it wasn't his first. He had competed against us once before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it was a good team.
But that year that you declined in 2017, you also were on a team that year with me and Jen Guffey and Rob.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So basically from
Before, and then 2018 was with you and Tyler.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then obviously after that, regionals was dead.
Yeah.
So 2018 was last year at regionals, and then
2020.
So now here we are, 2023. So including, what you've done this year so far as qualifying for the games. And obviously, it just took us however many minutes to talk about all the things that you've done in CrossFit. And that's not even talking about qualifying for Wadapalooza and doing that type of shit. We're just talking about regionals type stuff. So you've obviously done a lot. It took us minutes to talk about what a lot of people will never be able to talk about because they've never done it. So yeah, congratulations. So from that, what do you feel like has been your greatest accolade? What is the accomplishment, whether it be qualifying for something or a specific event or doing something? What has been your greatest achievement, you think, in your mind in CrossFit up to this point?
Honestly, I feel like this year is my biggest accomplishment because I wasn't really training for it, and little injuries here and there, so I kind of just rested my body for the year and just doing classes, and I wasn't expecting this. And then once I got 4th in the Open, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is cool.
Yeah.
And now that I have my career, I have my kids are older, I'm really excited for this.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing hard, and it's yeah. So I feel like this year is the biggest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I as a coach, I'd have to agree with that.
And I did it myself. You know, it's not like a team. I did it with a team.
For sure, yeah.
Like going to the games with the team, whatever. I mean, that's cool, but this is something I did by myself.
So along these lines, do you remember, and I know we're talking like, you know, a decade ago, but do you remember when you realized that you were like good at this and that you were going to be competitive and that this was going to be something that is like a competitive challenge for you, and now you're like an athlete again? 'Cause that's something that a lot of people obviously talk about, like, and obviously people that are just now getting into CrossFit have had a lot of exposure to CrossFit, whether it be watching the games or watching things on YouTube. But in 2010, 11, when we started, there wasn't a whole lot of exposure. So do you remember when that like aha moment happened where it was like, oh, I'm an athlete again and like I can be good at this? Do you remember when that happened, or was there not that a specific moment?
Like gradually, like I know you and I worked out all the time together,
Yeah.
and it was like once I started to like get strong, and I was like, wow, I'm actually really strong.
Like I'm doing things that other girls aren't doing. Yeah.
And, like the gymnastics were coming like easily for me, and I was like, wow, I could actually do something with this.
Yeah. So it was pretty early on. Yeah. So you didn't do gymnastics growing up or anything. What'd you do growing up?
I was a swimmer.
At like what? Okay, college.
I went to 2-year school, because I'm from Buffalo, I came here to do swimming, to swim in college, but it didn't last long. Like I swam all through like grade school and everything, and then stopped after college.
I got burnt out. What college was it?
BCC. Broward, yeah.
Okay. What is it called? What is it called now?
Broward Community.
Is it still called that? Because like Palm Beach State just changed it. Like changed their name a couple years ago. Because remember, Palm Beach State was PBSC, or Palm Beach. No, now it is. Before it was PBCC, Palm Beach Community College, and now it's like Palm Beach State College or something like that. So I'm not sure if Broward did the same thing or not. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, who really cares? I don't know why we're talking about this. So how do you currently feel like how do you currently feel like training's going? Obviously, like, go ahead. I'll let you start.
Great. Like, well, I mean, yeah, I feel really good right now, even though I still have like a little knee injury, whatever, but I'm able to work through it. Like I'm able to squat now, which feels so good.
Yeah.
And my body it feels really good, even though I'm doing 2-a-days now, like a few 2-a-days.
I'm sure you feel sore, but you feel good.
Yeah.
It's not like an achy kind of thing, which we've all been through if you've been doing it long enough.
Yeah, because I never do 2-a-days.
And when was the last time that you like dialed in like this? Like 2017, 2018?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like because I haven't been really lifting. Like now I'm lifting, I'm doing accessories. Like
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah.
Like accessories I didn't do.
Yeah.
I'm doing accessories now. What are you laughing at? I'm doing accessories, like lifting, doing 2-a-days. Like my training is like totally changed.
Yeah. And maybe in hindsight, because we talk about this a lot of how like, you know, if you've been doing this for 10 or 12 or however many years, eventually there's a cap, right? And like now your body's broken. And now, you know, if you're going at a certain speed for a certain period of time, eventually that needs to slow down. And maybe, you know, this year kind of lined up well for you because you've had a couple years where you went to school, you started a career, and you kind of pulled the reins back on training, and you got almost like had fun with it again. Like you did the classes, lifted with friends, probably messed around, didn't get burnt out, kept moving, kept in shape, but wasn't necessarily like destroying yourself. So that could be a good reminder for people that maybe not for, we talked about, the last time that you were, aggressively training was potentially 2018. So we're talking about 5 years. So maybe not suggesting that 5 years needs to be the option, but like keeping in mind for people that like want to continue to get better, sometimes it's advantageous to pull the reins back a little bit.
Yep.
Let life happen and let yourself recover a little bit. Because like you said, you're like squatting for the first time, not in pain. That's obviously a huge win, which is nice.
And yeah, Kim helps too.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And I feel like that's another thing that we didn't, at least, myself, and I think that you kind of fall in this boat too, like early on, we weren't doing that type of shit. Like your knee hurts, you just muscle through it.
Yeah.
You don't And that was also a problem back in the day that I don't think that people are really seeing now, because like the landscape has changed so much, and there's, athletic trainers like him who are now in the sport and accessible to athletes, where 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, that wasn't really a thing. It was like, oh, you're acting like a bitch. Yeah. Stop acting like a bitch and fucking squat. Yeah. So what are your goals and expectations for the games? Have you like thought about that yet? Is that a conversation that we need to have, or?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a conversation that we need to have.
Yeah.
But I feel like, well, we kind of talked about this before. It's like, I feel like since I'm just starting, I have 3 months.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I keep on training like I am, I'm going to be totally different than
for sure
what I was.
And that's something that we spoke about also a couple days ago, where, going into it, and obviously we don't know specifically about what the other girls' training has looked like or is looking like, whatever. But we are assuming that the majority of them weren't training, or lack of at the time, like you. So like you went through all the qualification processes and kind of like earned your spot as far as like the leaderboard goes, semi-deconditioned for what we think that you're going to be at the games, where we think that a lot of the other women in the division probably were a little bit more primed up, peaked up. And for that reason, they beat you in the qualifier, obviously, but they also might not have as much room to grow from the qualifier to the games, where we think that there's going to be a lot more growth that happens with you, because we were not deconditioned, but not training the way we are now. So that'll be really cool to see where that lines up. Because obviously, like in these qualified events, goal number one, unless you're like the fittest motherfucker in the age division or in the world, goal number one should be, hey, I want to try to outperform my seeding, right? We used to do that in wrestling all the time, where like you would go into a state tournament ranked 10th. If I come in 9th, that was a win for me at that tournament, because I outranked my seeding, or I outperformed my seeding. So if we can outperform a seeding, I think that would be positive. And I think that we definitely have the ability to do that because of what we just spoke about.
And it's like, and I feel like there's not a lot of pressure on me right now, because I'm going in last place pretty much.
Yeah.
So I can only like.
Yeah. I hear you. And it's obviously good, other athletes have a tendency to put too much pressure on them. And then this like life-changing, I don't want to say life-changing, but like once in a lifetime potentially experience, even though this is already a second in a lifetime experience for you, who knows what life throws at us, who knows if you're going to be able to do this again. This like amazing experience that should be super enjoyable turns into this like overly stressful thing that like you're not having fun, your family ends up not having fun, the people around you end up not having fun, and then it's done and you're like, that was miserable.
Yeah, I do not want it. I told myself that I do not want it to be. I want to go in and like I want to have fun. Of course I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to be nervous as fuck. But I want to go in and like actually enjoy what I'm doing and have fun. And like if I think to myself that way, I'll be less nervous and I'll do better. Yeah. I know how I am.
And I could imagine, I think this is how it is with the majority of masters. Not that I know, again, how other masters' careers or families or lifestyles work, but, I could see from one of like the younger, like the open category, right? Like the Justin Medeiros type, right? Putting a lot of emphasis behind this because this is literally his profession. And if things start to go to shit, he gets paid less or he loses his job, i.e. sponsorship, whatever. But this should almost be like a celebration for you on being able to make this happen. And like, this is your celebration or your party is to be able to go to the games and like party and have fun and do what you love to do. And obviously there's going to be stress involved. But I think if we think about it like that, it's going to be a much more pleasant time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. So do you think there's anything else that anybody should know about Jaci Cale or?
I think everybody knows mostly.
What's the B on your arm stand for?
Believe.
Nice. And beautiful and
badass.
Yeah. All the B's, all the positive B things there could be. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it for today. new podcast setup. Thanks to Seth. So this is going to be the new setup moving forward. Hopefully everybody likes it. Hopefully it looks good. Looks good? Cool. All right. See you guys next time.